Welcome back to Insightful Gaming, where we dive deep into the latest and greatest in the world of Destiny. Today, we're going to be breaking down the trailer for Neomuna, the latest expansion from Bungie, and all the changes coming to the game. You're not going to want to miss this, because we're talking build crafting, weapon crafting, Year 3 Catalyst evolution, making it easier for you to get those sweet exotics and weapon changes that are sure to shake up the meta. We'll also be talking about all the new exotic changes, abilities, and perk changes, and so much more. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to level up your gaming experience. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. First of all, we have to talk about the trailer Bungie just dropped. Let me break down what I learned from the trailer. As cyberpunk as a genre has been coming back in a major way in recent years, thanks in large part to the success of titles like Cyberpunk 2077, and now Bungie is providing its own take on the genre with the neon-filled streets of Neomuna. With most Destiny settings involving strange alien worlds and lost civilizations, the sleek style of Neomuna immediately gives the location a unique and refreshing flair. The trailer also introduces players to the Cloud Striders, the defenders of Neomuna, who are likely allies during Lightfall's campaign, and they are currently explained as volunteers who underwent enhancements to serve as defenders of their home. We also saw more of the upcoming Strand subclasses, showing off the Broodweaver, Threadrunner, and Berserker taking on Vex and the Shadow Legion. The neon green digital colors show that it's not just Neomuna that's taking on a cyberpunk look, and the game will no doubt provide a number of iconic weapons with a Cyberpunk 2077 style. Players are still in the dark about what new mechanics these weapons and subclasses will bring to the game, but they will no doubt change Destiny just as much as the Witch Queen did, and despite all the new pieces of lore and world shown off in the Neomuna trailer, we still have little in the way of details on where this new expansion will be taking them. With the deeper lore of Destiny containing a lot of wild things, there's no telling just what strangeness is yet to be discovered on Neptune. The trailer heavily features fan-favorite villain Callus and his Shadow Legion as a major threat for the duration of its clips, while also showing off the mysterious Tormentors, Disciples of the Darkness. With the growing conflict between light and dark expected to have its final conclusion in the expansion after Lightfall, players should expect things to reach their lowest points yet. I can say that the Neomuna trailer has definitely raised some exciting possibilities for the future of Destiny, and the cyberpunk aesthetic is a refreshing change from the usual sci-fi settings. The introduction of the Cloud Striders and the Strand subclasses also adds an interesting dynamic to the game. And with the conflict between light and dark reaching its climax, players can expect an action-packed and thrilling experience. With Lightfall set to be released on February 28, Guardians will still have another month to go before they can start off on the next step in Destiny's story. With a host of changes coming with the expansion's new content, Destiny's meta will likely see a huge change-up as experienced players work out the mechanics, while an influx of new players interested in seeing what Neomuna has to offer join their fellow Guardians in the fight against darkness. So, get ready, Guardians, the future of Destiny looks bright and neon. Next up, World of Buildcrafting in Destiny. For those of you who may not be familiar, Buildcrafting is all about creating the perfect loadout for your Guardian, so you're always ready for whatever the game throws at you. The team at Bungie recently shared a detailed look at how Buildcrafting has evolved and what it will look like in the near future, particularly with anti-champion systems, the new loadout system, and more. In short, players can expect more consolidation and customization options when it comes to loadouts and mods. On the topic of weapons, players will be excited to hear that Rumble is making a comeback as a permanent fixture in the Crucible and will no longer rotate. Additionally, changes are being made to the way red borders are obtained in raids and the Duality Dungeon, making it easier for players to get the weapons they want. The Dredgen title will also require fewer wins to guild, and players will be able to earn bonus credit for wins. In Lightfall, the next big expansion for Destiny, players can look forward to even more changes to weapon crafting and new exotic glaive options. But that's not all. Stay tuned for more information about these updates in the coming weeks. As always, we want to hear your thoughts on these changes. Are you excited for Rumble's return? How do you feel about the changes to weapon crafting? Let us know in the comments below. Next up on the list, let's talk about the Year 3 Catalyst evolution. The Catalyst quests for some of the most powerful weapons in the game are getting a boost, making it easier for players to upgrade their exotics. And the best part, any seasonal ritual playlist activity will count towards the Catalyst progress, so you can grind and have fun at the same time. But that's not all. We're also making exotic glaive crafting easier than ever before, by requiring only one portion of each weapon pattern from the Wellspring weapons, and ensuring the first drop of each daily Wellspring weapon will have Deep Sight. Once you unlock the recipe for the first exotic glaive, the other class recipes can be purchased by your other characters from the evidence board. also Guardians, mark your calendars. The new raid is coming on March 10, 2023 at 9 a.m. PST. This is your chance to be a part of the world first race and earn that coveted world first belt. I know I'll be there, popcorn in hand, ready to watch the action unfold. We have massive weapon changes coming to Destiny 2. I am going to try my best to break it down for you guys. So, it looks like the team at Bungie is making some big changes to weapon types in the game. Starting with submachine guns, they've made a large improvement to their performance at lower range values and have also increased the critical hit multiplier to make them more rewarding in skilled hands. Pulse rifles, on the other hand, are getting some nerfs to their top-end range and native recoil to make them less effective at longer ranges. And finally, sidearms are getting a slight reduction to the aim assist fall-off distance buff from the previous season. Personally, I think these changes are a good move by Bungie. SMG have always been heavily dependent on the range stat, and it's great to see them being balanced out more. And while pulse rifles have been very powerful in the current meta, reducing their effectiveness at longer ranges will make the game more balanced and give other weapons a chance to shine. As for sidearms, the slight reduction to the aim assist fall-off distance buff will help keep them in check and prevent them from becoming too overpowered. All in all, it looks like these changes will make for a more balanced and enjoyable gaming experience for players. Can't wait to see how it all plays out in the game. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video to stay up to date on all the latest news in the world of gaming. Next up on the list, exotics changes. The team at Bungie just dropped some big changes for our favorite weapons, and it's time to break it down. First up, Dead Messenger. This bad boy has been causing some problems with its triple wave pattern that can easily one-hit kill players. But don't worry, the team is bringing down its damage significantly, so it's not as oppressive to play against. But don't worry, it still has its uses in PvP. It just won't be as frustrating to play against. The wave's splash damage against players have been reduced by 35%. Next up, Dead Man's Tail. This exotic got a tweak in the 6.3.0 update, which had a bigger impact than expected. It was originally tuned to prefer body shots, so it had a larger aim assist cone to compensate. But now the team is pulling back on the hipfire tuning to make it harder to use at long ranges and removing the cranial spike penalty. The damage penalty for 5 stacks of cranial spike has been removed, hipfire and airborne. Aim assist cone angles have been reduced by 25% on MNK. The hipfire cone angle bonus scaling has been reduced from 20% to 5%. The hipfire precision aim cone angle has been reduced from 3 degrees to 0.8 degrees, and the hipfire auto aim fall scaler has been reduced from 1.5 to 1.1. And that's not all. The team is planning on doing a heavy weapon balance pass, adding subclass 3.0 verbs to several exotic weapons, tuning kinetic weapons, and adding a new perk to make kinetic weapons more valuable. First up, they're doing a heavy weapon balance pass, adding new abilities to some exotic weapons, and tuning kinetic weapons to make them even more valuable. But that's not all. In post-Lightfall seasons, we can expect even more updates that are sure to blow our minds. They're planning on making more substantial changes to weapon hipfire reticles, adding a full auto melee setting, and even introducing another set of craftable reprise raid weapons with an origin trait, similar to what we saw in Season 19. And of course, regular seasonal and mid-season balance updates to keep the game fresh and exciting. And for our Titan players out there, the team has also made some changes to the Citten's Ramparts exotic gauntlets. They've increased the cooldown of the barricade ability while wearing the gauntlets and increased the amount of damage players deal to a Citten's barricade by 25%. So you'll see them less often in PvP matches, and it will give you more opportunities for effective counterplay. In addition to these changes, they're also releasing some ability changes in patch 6.3.0.5, which will address outliers in both PvE and PvP. They're increasing the base cooldown of Barricade, Thruster, and Dodge by 20%. And for the Touch of Thunder ability, they've reduced the damage dealt by each lightning strike by 25% and made it easier to avoid the Roaming Storm by decreasing its tracking speed and distance. Lastly, they're removing the slide penalties to improve the feel and consistency of combat. Keep in mind that these are just the first step in ability balance and uptime, and there's more to come in the near future. That's it for our breakdown of all the latest changes coming to the game from Bungie's latest TWA. From the exciting new trailer of Neomuna, to the changes in build crafting and weapon crafting, to the Year 3 Catalyst evolution that will make it easier for you to get your hands on those sweet exotics, to the changes to weapons, exotics, abilities, and perks. There's definitely a lot to look forward to. We hope you enjoyed our breakdown and that it helped you understand all the changes that are coming your way. As always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll see you next time on Insightful Gaming.